Good morning and welcome to the Haven Financial Group radio show. I'm Larry Kallevig, founder and CEO of the Haven Financial Group. We appreciate you listening. Feel free to give us a call during today's show this coming week, whenever is appropriate, with any questions, worries, concerns, reservations about retirement, whatever it is, 612-504-8400, or visit us online at havenfinancialgroup.com. All kinds of educational classes throughout the whole year. They're truly educational. They're not sales seminars. We'd love to have you out. All related to retirement topics, which, a lot of people worry about retirement, and we're going to try, Kim, to help people not worry so much.
Yes, setting people's minds at ease is a wonderful gift that I believe that the folks at Haven Financial Group are very capable of giving. So again, that number is 612-504-8400 at any time during the course of our show. If something resonates with you, be sure you pick up the phone, let them know that you heard it here on the radio. We're going to talk today about something that certainly can impact people's retirement plans because this is a huge expense that comes along for a lot of families, sort of in the middle of those productive years. And I think in a lot of cases, Larry, might have some people slowing down on their retirement savings, some even tapping into their retirement savings. And of course, what we're talking about here is college planning. For those listening who have been there and done this, you know exactly what we're talking about, don't they, Larry?
They do.
Yes. And for those who maybe are starting to think about it or are in the process of planning for it, it can be very daunting. So we're going to talk a little bit about college planning situations today. We're going to talk about rules and strategies related to 529s, universal life insurance for college and other expenses associated with college and other things. And then finally, wealth stability in family finances and how planning for college and paying for college can sometimes impact all of that. Larry, you speak of this subject as someone who is very experienced.
Yeah, 4 daughters, all through college or med school or PA school or what have you, and still a couple, well, pretty much all of them still in that process. So yeah, I can speak to it, and let's just say it hasn't gotten any cheaper. In fact, the prices are just astronomical.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just ask you very quickly here before we kind of get started on some strategies. Was it a daunting idea for you and your wife, and how did you guys go about, approaching this?
Well, first of all, we imagine us couples having differences of opinion, of course, because when I did my first 4 years at Bethel College, I had to have skin in the game, and our daughters have skin in the game, and I think it's important because it's worked well for us. Certainly, they didn't do it all, but at the end of the day, I mean, let's face it, the student debt burden that some of these kids face is a big hole that they're going to have a hard time getting out of. It's just a daunting, big number of student loan debt. And to whatever degree we can help, we help. But there's skin in the game, and I think that's important. But again, if you're listening and you paid for all of your kids, that's great too. Kids respond to different ways and different tactics. But what I hate to see, obviously, and I see this, is some folks that we sit down with have utilized their retirement savings and tapped into that. So yeah, somebody's benefiting, whatever student, grandkid it is, but unfortunately their retirement is suffering because of it. And that's a fine line we really want to make sure we're discussing.
Well, I think most people who are listening and who are either planning for college for their kids or have their kids in college certainly know the very first thing that you mentioned, and that's that tuition continues to rise. It does feel like at some point this has to cap, but it certainly has not yet. And it doesn't seem to be, our wages and so on and so forth are not catching up with tuition.
No, college tuition, especially at the public institutions and even the private, but not quite as much, has outpaced inflation significantly since the baby boomers and Gen X eras, significantly. Data indicates that the percentage increase is just through the roof since the 70s. And again, during this segment, we're going to talk about costs, and it may sound like, oh, we're not for education. Believe me, we're all for education because there's a lot of value that still remains, despite the financial strain. a college degree continues to hold significant value in the modern job market, opening doors to higher earnings, higher potential, upward mobility. So we're all for education. It's just that how do we manage the expenses? What kind of load can we take on ourselves? And does it really work, and how so, into our overall retirement plan?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you sit down with families and they are, trying to face this daunting task, where do you start?
Well, our process does not change. It's the discovery meeting, getting to know who we're sitting down with, you guys, them getting to know us, figuring out what's really the goals, aspirations. Is college planning something you want to do? If so, how does it fit into your budget and the overall plan? And again, first of all, have a plan. If you're listening today and don't have a plan, maybe that's where we start. A failure to plan is a plan to fail, and most of us listening and talking today don't want to fail. So let's have a plan. From then we can strategize. Well, how does it fit into your overall process? And we'll look at the investments and the strategies and all the retirement topics that you and I touch on when you have for several years. Again, from healthcare to Medicare to insurance to investments, et cetera. And then we'll come up with a strategy, implementation process, and then an ongoing monitoring and support system. We're making adjustments as life happens. So this all falls into part of the conversation that we should be having, and many folks are not having because they're not getting the attention that they truly deserve.
I know that there's a lot of people who are probably listening, Larry, and they're thinking, I'm never going to have the kind of dollars that my kids are going to need to put them through college. And savings is a really important part of it, but you can also approach this in a strategic way, correct?
Yeah, of course you can have a strategy. And again, tuition is one thing, but everything related in addition to the tuition, from the books to the room and board, I mean, food, the food
Mhm.
plan. Our youngest is this second year, but she's actually a junior at the University of Kansas. The food plans, my gosh, I mean, what they want for a food plan is just crazy. Now, I know she has to eat, but I don't think she's ever going to eat that. I don't think she's ever going to eat that much. But so it's really the big, big picture that we need to discuss.
Absolutely. So again, throughout the course of this show, we're going to talk about some of those strategies. One of those, and we're going to get into it in the next block, Larry. But 529s. Before we get to that block, would you just explain what a 529 is?
It's just a college savings plan. That, in addition to UTMA or UGMA accounts, are kind of college planning type of investments. It's just a separate investment with different rules that we're going to talk about in the next segment. That can be they can be more flexible than people make them out to be. They're not the only way to plan for college, but they certainly are probably the most popular way to invest for kids' future.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk more about 529 plans and some other plans coming up in our next segment. Again, our number is 612-504-8400. If we're talking about something today that strikes a chord with you, please feel free to call today or at any point. Set up a consultation with the folks at Haven Financial Group. Again, we are sort of talking about college today, but the folks at Haven Financial Group, they address all and any retirement questions you may have and issues. They also address investment. So again, that number is 612-504-8400. Larry, when we come back, let's talk about 529s and what they might mean for someone's college planning. This is the Haven Financial Group Radio Show.